Chapter 35. This venerable one slips. That night, Moran stared at the wall, cheek propped up on his hand. On the other side of that wall was Chuaning and Shuomang's room. Shimei was fastidious and had left a change of clothes folded neatly on the bed before going downstairs to ask the attendant to bring up some hot water for a bath. The walls of the thin weren't especially soundproof. In the quiet, Moran could faintly hear the sounds coming from the adjacent room. Chuaning seemed to have said something. Moran couldn't hear him clearly, but he heard Shuomang's voice loud and clear. "Seems a little tight." Moran's ears perked up like a dog, twitching a little. On the other side of the wall, the little phoenix asked, "Shizun, does it hurt?" "It's fine, you can keep going." "Be gentle. Let me know if it does start to hurt." "You talk too much. Do it or don't." Moran's eyes widened in alarm. Surely there was no way, no how. Not between those two. But what kind of exchange was that? What were they doing? The pup's ears were practically pressed against the wall. There was the faint sound of clothes rustling, and if he strained, he could even hear Chuaning's stifled groans. He had heard Chuaning make this kind of sound in bed countless times. That Shizun of his didn't like to make any noise at all, no matter whether it felt good or really painful. He always bit down hard on his lower lip as unshed tears gathered in his eyes. At such times, all Moran had to do was push just a bit harder to rip soft, panting breath from his throat. "Wait." Chuaning's voice was low and rough. "Don't touch me there." "All right." Shuomang hesitated, then said in a small voice, "Then Shizun will do it himself?" "Touch where? What nonsense was this? Don't touch him where? Do what himself?" Just what were they doing? Moran's face darkened. By the time he realized what he was doing, he was knocking on the door to the neighboring room. A flurry of hurried noises came from inside. The pup's expression grew even darker. "Shizun," he called out. "What are you—" The door opened with a creak. Shuomang stood there, fully dressed, hands still holding a piece of blood-stained gauze. He narrowed his eyes as he glared at Moran in confusion. "What do you want, making such a ruckus so late at night? Did you trip over a ghost or something?" Moran's mouth opened, then closed stupidly. He glanced past Shuomang to where Chuaning sat by the table, upon which lay medicinal salve and fresh bandages. "What were you guys—" Shuomang continued glaring. "Applying medicine, of course. Shizun's shoulder hasn't healed yet. The dressing hadn't been changed for a few days, and some of the wounds got infected again." Then what was too tight?" Moran asked dumbly. "Too tight?" Shuomang thought for a while, eyebrows drawn together. "Oh, the bandages. They were wrapped around too tightly before. Blood stuck some bits to the wounds, and they almost wouldn't come off." Suddenly, he stopped talking and eyed Moran with suspicion. "Were you eavesdropping?" Moran rolled his eyes and scrambled to save his sorry face. "Who's eavesdropping? The walls are so thin, you can hear someone breathing even if you only lean against them. Go see for yourself if you don't believe me." "Oh, really?" Shuomang nodded, but then belatedly felt like something was off. "Wait, how did you know that? Were you leaning against the wall to listen?" Moran couldn't immediately respond. "Who were you? You're such a freak," Shuomang said angrily. "Who knows what beastly things you might have been doing to Shizun?" Moran replied just as angrily. Shuomang was a pure person who knew nothing of such matters. He had no idea what Moran was implying, so he only got angrier. "What nonsense are you yapping about?" he turned to complain. "Shizun, Chuaning put on his outer robe, holding it closed with one hand while straightening his hair with the other. He calmly walked over and looked Moran up and down. "Did you need something?" I heard—" Moran fumbled for the words. That is, I thought Shuomang was bullying you." "What?" Chuaning didn't understand at all. His eyes narrowed. "Who's bullying me?" Moran wanted to slap himself. They were in the middle of staring awkwardly at one another when Shimei came upstairs. "Ahn, what are you doing outside Shizun's room?" Moran stammered. There was a misunderstanding." Shimei smiled. Well, has it been resolved? Yeah, Moran said hurriedly. Shimei, didn't you go ask the attendant for some hot water? Shizun probably hasn't bathed yet either. I'll go ask him to bring extra. No need. Shimei produced 4 bamboo tablets, still smiling. The attendant said there's a natural hot spring by the inn, which the innkeeper converted into a bath. These tablets are passes. I got one for everyone. Moran felt that he, being a cut-sleeve, probably shouldn't go soak in the hot spring with the other 3. Sure Meng was whatever. Shimei was, in Moran's eyes, pure and divine, and he dared not even conceive of dirty thoughts about him. But Chuaning? From the handful of incidents of close contact they'd had since Moran's rebirth, he was well aware that if he saw that person in a state of undress, he would probably lose his mind. Moran covered his face with a hand. I'll pass. You don't bath before bed? Gross, Shomeng said, shocked. I'll ask the attendant to send up some hot water, said Moran. Shimei was baffled. They don't boil bathwater here, since all the guests go to the hot spring. Left with no other choice, Moran could only grab a change of clothes and go to the hot spring along with everyone else. The inn was pretty diligent when it came to currying favor. They knew that most people who stayed with them were cultivators headed to Jinchen Lake in hopes of obtaining a weapon. So they had named the bath Daybreak's Reflection in Jincheng to invite luck. Moran was scared stiff of losing his senses, too afraid to so much as accidentally brush against the others. Instead, he changed in a rush, wrapped his towel tightly around his waist, and ran off by himself to the hot spring to find a secluded spot. It was already rather late, so there weren't many people in the bath. The ones who were there were scattered a distance away. With a square of white towel on top of his head, Moran sank into the water, leaving only half his face above it, and let out a long breath, listening to the glug-glug sounds as he blew bubbles. The first person to finish changing strode out with long bare legs. Moran snuck a glance and let out a breath of relief. Thank the gods, it was only Chuo Meng. Chuo Gongzi might have been handsome, but no matter how you cut it, he wasn't Ta Xianjun's type. Their gazes met, and Chuo Meng pointed at him. You! Stay away from me! What gives? You're filthy! Moran said only, ha ha. The bath was misty with water vapor. After a while, Chuo Meng paused in the middle of scrubbing himself to call out, Shizun, over here! Moran, with his face half underwater, nearly choked. He knew damn well that he shouldn't look, but his gaze couldn't help but wander. That single glance nearly killed him. He was so startled that he swallowed 2 whole mouthfuls of bathwater and didn't even have time to be grossed out. Instead, he hurried to sink even deeper into the spring until only his eyes remained above. He totally hadn't expected Chuaning and Shimei to come out together. Shimei was slender and beautiful in a soft way, with long ink-black hair draped over his shoulders, wrapped in a towel. By all rights, Moran should have wanted to sneak a look at him more than anything, but his glance darted quickly past him. He sincerely respected Shimei, like the bright moon above, and dared not stare at him in public. Chuaning, on the other hand, was tall and coldly handsome, with broad shoulders and a narrow waist, a toned body and supple skin. He had his hair up in a high ponytail and wore a large white bathrobe that covered his whole body except for the front, where the robe couldn't quite be pulled close and revealed an expanse of smooth, firm chest. As Moran stared at him, he felt like he was going to suffocate and boil in the water. He wanted to look away, but his traitorous eyes refused to listen and fixed themselves on Chuaning without even moving the slightest. His ears slowly turned red. Through the heavy steam, Chuaning seemed to have glanced at him, or perhaps not. He cast a waterproofing barrier over his bandages and stepped into the water. His legs were visible amidst the floating robe, long and slender, balanced with tight contours. Moran really couldn't take any more. He closed his eyes to sink all the way into the water. Even though he was covered by a towel wrapped around his waist, his reaction was all too clear. Moran felt extremely wronged. He honestly didn't like Chuaning. He in fact hated Chuaning, but his body remembered their fervent lovemaking, their frenzied entanglements that had turned even bones of steel tender. All of the absurd things they had shared made his face redden and his heart race. The jut of Moran's throat bobbed as a celestial war raged within him. He felt like he was about to cry. For the first time in his life, he loathed himself. Why was he like this? Shi-mei was right there. What the fuck was he doing, losing his damn mind over Chu Wanning? Even if they had once pressed themselves together, skin to skin, as they intertwined in their previous life, all of that was in the past. Even if he was hung up on Chu Wanning's body, how could he do this to Shi-mei? This was utterly disrespectful to him. He deserved better. Moran lowered his head and focused on dispelling these wicked thoughts for quite a while before finally managing to suppress the fire in his abdomen. He burst out of the water and shook off the droplets, wiped his face with a towel and opened his watery eyes, and came face to face with Chu Wanning. Even worse, the water he had just shaken off splashed right onto Chu Wanning's face. He watched as the droplet leisurely made its way down into Chu Wanning's sharp black eyebrow, and then slowly slid lower, nearly slipping into that beautiful phoenix eye. An awkward silence bloomed between them. This was the actual worst. Moran had been able to see his surroundings when he was submerged underwater and holding his breath. Chu Wanning also hadn't realized Moran was under the water at that location. He had just been minding his own business, moving to fetch the box of fragrance bars. He didn't even reach the box before he was splashed with a face full of water. The hot spring was quite deep, the water exceptionally buoyant. Moran, head swimming, tried to back away, but instead he ended up slipping and falling right into Chu Wanning's arms instead. "Ah!"